Many crimes have taken place over the years, but some may say none have been pulled off as well or possibly as foolishly as the hijacking of D.B. Cooper. According to Geoffrey Gray, author of Skyjack, The Hunt for D.B. Cooper, on the morning before Thanksgiving in 1971, a young man sought to board a plane in Northwest Airlines Flight 305, going from Portland to Seattle. Casually dressed and unsuspicious-looking, Dan Cooper, who later got the nickname D.B. Cooper, allegedly handed the flight attendant a small piece of paper telling her his plans to blow up the airlines unless his demands were made. His demands were as follows: $200,000 in $20 bills, a fuel truck to refuel the airplane, parachutes, and backup reserves. I would like you to, you've probably heard of the legend, and you've probably seen of his tales, but who was D.B. Cooper, and more importantly, what happened to him? I would like you to keep in mind that during the time of this crime, the nation was facing many adversities. There were many demonstrations protesting the war in Vietnam. Protesters were being locked up by the hundreds. There were bombs going off around campuses and government buildings. Our country was also facing a recession during this time, with unemployment and rates and crime rates sky high. According to Geoffrey Gray, author of Skyjack, The Hunt for D.B. Cooper, during Nixon's term, there was an estimate of 100 Skyjacks of American Airlines, but some may say none as memorable as the Skyjacking of D.B. Cooper. According to the people on the plane, D.B. Cooper was known to be a gentle thief. The hostages were even said to have explained him as being kind and gentle towards him during the hijacking. He was especially nice to Florence Schaffner, the flight attendant who he gave the piece of paper to. Florence Schaffner was an attractive woman who was used to getting attention from men while she was working, so she didn't think much of it when D.B. Cooper handed her a piece of paper. According to Tom Philbin, the author of The Killer Book of Cold Cases, he says that a few seconds later, he leans in and whispers to Florence Schaffner, "You better read that letter. I have a bomb in this attaché case, and I plan to blow up this plane, unless my demands are made." The plane was landed, and the FBI and police officials were notified. D.B. Cooper collected his $200,000 in ransom, fuel truck, and the 2 parachutes. He took the 21 pounds of $20 bills and strapped it to his torso before jumping out of the plane. According to the people on the flight, the captain spoke into the microphone one more time to ask Cooper if he needed anything else before he jumped. The answer was a sharp no. The hunt for D.B. Cooper has been one of the largest unsolved crimes in the history of crime, with information still being added to his file to this day. Over 30 years later, the unidentified hijacker still remains to be unknown. In the early 80s, it was discovered that a small amount of ransom money had been cashed in, but with no links to anyone. If this were true and D.B. Cooper did survive, then why didn't more money end up showing up? You would think that somebody would want to reap the rewards from a stunt as risky as this. In 1980, a geologist found $5,800 in $20 bills that washed up upstream, 40 miles upstream in a woodland area. It is here that the geologist theorized that D.B. Cooper's body probably ended up. This is the money. Some disagree with this, arguing that D.B. Cooper probably planted this money here to throw off FBI and police officials from his tracks while he fled the country. There is really no compelling evidence either way that proves or disproves what may have happened to D.B. Cooper. And dozens of people have successfully mocked his sky jump, proving that it's possible maybe he did survive. Others were not so lucky, showing that it's also possible that he suffered the ultimate price for his daring crime. Another thing that threw off the entire investigation was the weather during this time. According to Vin Cotter, the author of an article in Weatherwise magazine, he states that the weather was so bad with heavy snow, rain, and fog that the days after the incident, police officials were unable to search the flight path by ground. It was also said to be that D.B. Cooper jumped from an altitude of 10,000 feet into 19-degree weather during a snowstorm. It is unknown if somebody could actually survive a jump from such an altitude. Many crimes have taken place over the years, but some may say none as memorable as the hijacking of D.B. Cooper. This one man is partly responsible for the increased security in airlines all over the country during the time of this crime. Whether you believe that this case is rightful to remain open, or if you believe that it should go down in the books that D.B. Cooper did not survive, Cooper will always remain a legend and idol to some. There is still even a party in the woods every year where it was thought that he may have landed, by people who idolize his Robin Hood-like ways from stealing from the rich, although he did not give to the poor. It will be a long time before anybody forgets about the legend of D.B. Cooper, and possibly even longer before FBI and police officials decide to close his case.